Picture this. You've just left your wife, your daughter, and your newborn granddaughter behind on a completely wild, untamed shore. You absolutely promise them you're going to return in just a few short months with the supplies they desperately need. So, time passes. You finally make it back, sailing through these dark, crashing ocean waves at night. Your heart is literally pounding in your chest with anticipation. You step off the boat onto the beach, and the settlement is completely empty. They're just gone.
115. Exactly 115 men, women, and children vanished from the face of the earth. Imagine frantically searching the perimeter. You're looking for bodies. There are none. You're looking for hastily dug graves. Nothing. There's zero sign of a struggle, no lingering echoes of violence in the forest. Just this agonizing, deafening void. So where on earth did they go? Well, in this explainer, we're diving deep into America's oldest and arguably most chilling unsolved mystery.
Part 1. The Doomed Settlement. Okay, let's set the scene here. The year is 1587. England is incredibly desperate to establish a permanent foothold in the New World. So 115 hopeful settlers sail across the vast Atlantic Ocean and drop anchor at Roanoke Island, which is in present-day North Carolina. And they're led by an artist, Governor John White. Now, these weren't hardened soldiers. They were families. They came to this uncharted place to build a dream.
And for a fleeting moment, it actually looked like that dream was gonna take root. Governor White's own daughter gave birth to a baby girl named Virginia Dare, the very first English child born in the Americas. It should have been this incredible moment of ultimate triumph. But almost immediately, that beautiful dream began to violently collapse around them.
See, they were completely unprepared for the brutal reality of this environment. Severe food scarcity had them practically on the brink of starvation. On top of that, rising tensions with local indigenous tribes created an atmosphere of just constant suffocating fear. The colonists were desperate. They literally begged Governor John White to do the unthinkable, to sail back across the treacherous Atlantic to England and get emergency supplies. Reluctantly, he agreed, and that decision would change history forever.
So White leaves in August of 1587, promising he'll be right back. But fate steps in. In 1588, the Anglo-Spanish War erupts. England is fighting for its life, so they seize every available ship for the war effort. Travel is completely restricted. Months bleed into years. It isn't until August of 1590, 3 agonizing years later, that White finally secures passage back. Just think about the psychological toll of that. 3 years, leaving 115 people completely and totally alone on the edge of the world.
Which brings us to a stark, really terrifying question. What happened during those 3 years of absolute silence? Imagine the days turning colder, the food supplies dwindling down to nothing, those immense, dark coastal storms rolling in. We do not have a single historical record from the island during this time. The mystery just hangs in the air, thick and impenetrable as the coastal fog before dawn. When White finally steps off his boat in 1590, he is bracing for the absolute worst. But instead, he uncovers a chilling puzzle. Step 1, total, suffocating silence. Nobody is rushing to the shores to greet him. Step 2, as he pushes into the settlement, he realizes the homes aren't burned or destroyed. They've actually been carefully, methodically dismantled. And step 3, the detail that changes everything, there are no skeletons. There's no blood. There is zero evidence of a violent massacre. They simply packed up and vanished. Now, before he left 3 years prior, White gave his people a very specific, life-saving instruction. He told them, if you are in danger, carve a cross. That was their emergency distress signal. So you can imagine White frantically searching the trees, tearing at the remaining palisade posts, digging through the overgrown brush, looking for that one symbol. But there was no cross found. Anywhere. Instead, his eyes land on a single heavy wooden post. Carved deeply into the bark is just one word, Croatoan. Right nearby, the letters CRO are etched into a tree. Without that distress cross, this wasn't a panicked cry for help. It was a destination, a deliberate, intentional message left behind. And it stands today as the single most haunting clue ever discovered on American soil. Part 2, Unearthing the Truth. Okay, so we're shifting now from a 16th century ghost story to a modern, active forensic investigation. Because for over 4 centuries, historians and archaeologists have picked apart every single grain of sand to figure out what that carved word truly meant. Let's look at what the science actually tells us. We really have to impartially evaluate some of the darkest theories here. Like, did a hostile Native American tribe attack the settlers? The massacre theory is incredibly popular, but there's absolutely no physical evidence to support it. No bodies, no weapons left behind. Okay, what about starvation? Modern climatologists looked at ancient tree rings and proved that a severe, catastrophic drought struck this exact region between 1587 and 1589. Literally the worst drought in 800 years. But again, if they all starved to death, where are the remains? The absolute lack of human bones completely debunks a simple die-off.
Honestly, the trail went completely cold. Until a massive breakthrough in 2012. Researchers were examining one of John White's original watercolor maps, and they noticed something super odd, a tiny paper patch. Using advanced imaging, they looked beneath that patch and discovered a hidden fort symbol drawn 50 miles inland. This incredible clue led archaeologists to a location near present-day Bertie County known as Site X. And there, they finally uncovered buried English artifacts dating right back to the late 1500s. The colonists were moving inland.
And this brilliantly illustrates our most compelling evidence yet. Remember that carved word, Croatoan? Well, today that specific area is known as Hatteras Island. When archaeologists excavated there, the soil revealed a totally startling mix. We're talking 16th century English glass beads, metal tools, and fragments of writing slates, perfectly intermingled with native artifacts. You literally have evidence of European ironworking sitting side by side in the exact same soil layers as indigenous tools. This physical evidence forces a massive, profound paradigm shift. It begs the pivotal question, what if they abandoned Roanoke not to disappear into the dark, but to survive? Faced with an apocalyptic drought, starvation, and complete isolation from England, the most logical conclusion is that the colonists packed what they could carry, sailed down the coast, and assimilated into the Croatoan tribe.
Part 3, Survival over Death. This completely changes how we look at the narrative. America's oldest historical mystery might not actually be a grim, terrifying tale of slaughter or starvation. Instead, it's a testament to human resilience. It's this incredible story of adaptation. 115 English men, women, and children shedding their old lives, leaving behind the ruins of a failed colony to become part of an entirely different world, just to stay alive. Yet even with all these incredible archaeological clues, the ultimate fate of those specific individuals remains locked in the past. Like, what actually happened to baby Virginia Dare? Did she grow up learning the language and customs of the Croatoan? Did all 115 settlers make it? Or just a desperate few? After more than 4 centuries, the shifting sands of North Carolina still refuse to reveal all their secrets. They left us just enough to keep us searching forever. So, based on the evidence we've unpacked today, what do you think happened to the Lust colony?